Welcome to Unqualified.
Hi, my name is Rashita.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm Amanda, and we are three teens who live in Arizona and decided to make a podcast. First things first, Rashida, quote of the day.
Today's quote of the day is life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it by Charles R. Swindoll.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about college. We are seniors in high school, I think we said before, and college is approaching fast. We are applying to colleges right now. We're going on tours and everything online tours of colleges. And I think the first thing we're going to talk about is the Common App, which is the essays and the application that most colleges have that you can send into.
Yeah, so I know this year they're adding an additional information section that's specifically for COVID-19 and things related to COVID-19. Like, for example, explaining why you don't have any activities for this year. Well, because you couldn't volunteer over the summer or get a part-time job because you had to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really cool thing for them to do because it's obviously COVID is such a big pandemic that has affected so many people, including the three of us.
Yes.
And it's really limited all the stuff that we can do.
Yeah, so it's just an area that we can write down anything that we need to say that we feel like colleges should know about.
Exactly.
I think it's really important that they're taking into account the fact that COVID-19 happened, and so though we had plans to do things like Bianca said, like volunteer and have a part-time job, they're really taking into account that like that didn't happen, but like what was the plan if COVID-19 didn't happen, you know? So I
Yes,
think
you
that's
could
really important.
write down the plan. Yeah, definitely. And also kind of going in with the Common App, testing right now to get into colleges is very crazy. I mean, me and Bianca were signed up for an ACT last month and they both got canceled.
Yeah.
I know Rashida was able to get in, but
Yeah, so I think that the whole test optional thing, I think that's really going to be, especially because this year's our first year, our class of 2021 is going to be kind of the first class to be experiencing like many colleges, almost majority,
yeah, almost all.
almost all to be experiencing like, or to be going test optional. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes for our class and if they'll continue to implement it for future classes.
Oh, I didn't even think about that for future classes as well. Like I know one college, Wake Forest, they were already test optional, which is pretty interesting. So I wonder if any other colleges are going to adopt that after this.
Yeah, I feel like because I've heard of a couple of colleges that have been test optional always. So but no one ever talks about that, I guess. So
No, I know.
it's just a new thing.
Also, like, it's crazy how like you guys are saying like you both were signed up for the July ACT, was that right?
Yeah.
And how like what it got canceled like what the week before, like
I didn't know mine. I didn't even get an email. Mine was canceled. Mine was the day before I found out.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew is that we had another friend who was checking the list and she told us all when ours got canceled.
So I think it's just like COVID-19 is just making us all so unsure of like whether like it's just like it's adding this new uncertainty when it comes to things that are like that we feel that we need to have.
Yeah, totally. And also whether, because I know colleges say that you don't have to put your test in. We're not gonna take it into account if you don't say anything. But I feel like they are, in a way. I feel like I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe they're you don't actually have to put it in. But I feel like if you put a test in and it's a good score, you're going to get in over somebody who didn't put a test in. And I wonder how applications and people getting accepted into college is going to be different because of that.
Yeah, like I don't get how you can separate it. Like you were saying, if you have two applicants and one of them has test scores and the other one doesn't, like how do you just ignore the test score aspect, I guess?
No, yeah, definitely. It's going to be hard for colleges because I don't know what they're going to do with that. And so I feel like all of us as seniors are trying to do our tests, I mean, as much as we can to try and get into them. We're definitely trying to get into them.
Since March, I've been signed up for every single SAT and ACT, and every single one of them has gotten canceled. So I do not think I'm going to be taking these tests anytime soon.
I know.
Fingers crossed for both of your guys' August SAT.
Hopefully
Yes.
we get into it. I need it. And so another thing that's really interesting about college this year are tours. Normally we would go, normally I feel like during the summer, most people would just be going to different states and going on road trips and stuff to go visit colleges, but obviously no colleges are giving tours right now, so we're not allowed to do that. And so because of that, a lot of colleges have been doing informational sessions online, which has been really helpful, but it's definitely changed the experience for us because we can't actually see the campus in person and get a feeling of how everything is.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. I think that one of the really big things that especially seniors look forward to is like before, I know many people, there's a thing of like whether you should do it before or after you get into college, but I know many people who were looking forward to going on college tours like prior to the start of this year's school year. And I just think that like COVID-19 changed that so much, but the colleges adopted to it, and so they started offering Zoom calls, webcam calls, and also just different kinds of meetings for us to get comfortable with the campus as much as we could in comparison to actually going to the campus. Like they would display pictures of the campus, they would give statistics, they would have us like meet with counselors if we wanted to. So I think that's a really big part of, we missed out on the college tours, but in a way like this is making up for it and they're trying their best.
Yeah, I actually went to a college tour that was online. It was really interesting. They pulled up Google Earth photos.
Did they? Oh, wow.
Of the university. Yeah, and they had two students walk us through. It was all planned. They would just click the arrow and then we'd move on to the next place. And it was really interesting. But I mean, luckily I had already visited the campus last year. So yeah, but visiting in person is definitely way different than just seeing the pictures.
No, because you get it. There's like a feeling. I mean, that's kind of weird to say, but like sometimes you feel like this is where I want to be. And I feel like pictures, you can't get that.
Yeah, and it's, well, a big thing for me, and probably you guys, because we live in Arizona, is the weather.
Yes.
So, because when you go to East Coast schools, it's obviously going to be very different than the weather we have here. So it's another thing that you have to take into account because this is where you're going to be spending the next 4 years of your life.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also going on with like tours, they've been doing a lot of interviews online as well. So I just had an interview yesterday at Wake Forest, and they had to do it through Zoom call. Because normally you would go, when you're done with your tour, you would go in and do an interview there with a counselor. But now it's online, which is super interesting.
Do you think you felt more comfortable during the interview because you were at home?
Probably because I was in the comfort of my home, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I felt like it probably would have been more nervous if I was actually there and everything. Yeah, and I had more time to prepare with it being online, because if I was on a tour, I don't think I would have been ready for an interview, but I actually was able to look up questions and able to prepare for everything. So that was nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Another thing I was thinking, I don't know, do you guys think that colleges will change their acceptance rate significantly, or just even maybe like by a percentage or two, because of the sudden need for like money? Because I know like during COVID-19, like there was like a loss of students, or like, and so colleges were like kind of in need of money, or like they would want more money because of like the students they're losing. Like what is your take on that whole situation?
So that's actually really interesting. I hadn't even thought of something like that happening, and it kind of goes into the whole, do we really trust what they're saying? Because I've had a lot of colleges are emailing saying financial aid isn't going to change. You're still fully covered. It's need-based financial aid and whatever.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
But they don't. I don't think we are gonna know
Mm-hmm.
No, because like colleges
because
are losing money because they're decreasing tuition because people aren't going to be there for some colleges, not all. And then they're losing money because people are dropping out and stuff. So I wonder if the financial aid is going to change or if they're just saying
Yeah.
that to get more people in.
exactly, just like the test optional thing. Is it actually?
True, or are they just saying that?
Yeah. Are they just saying that so that people aren't discriminated against because they can't take tests?
That's so true. Wow. It's an interesting point. It's like a theory.
Yeah.
Conspiracy
I didn't
theory.
even think about like how like they would if they would change financial aid, but like that really makes me think about how like their loss of money and how that might affect us and how we like choose the school we go to and how much we're offered.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Because if they're offering less, then you're obviously going to choose a school that costs less and gives you more and stuff.
exactly. And then we could go into if there's going to be grant opportunities and research opportunities for when you're actually in the college.
Right.
Because
If
everything
we'll even
costs money.
even even if we'll have like those opportunities, because with COVID-19, like what they'll be letting us and allowing us to do from wherever we are, depending on how the situation is when we get to college.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised to see so many people going back to their dorms and going back to college because like for us we're doing virtual online learning, but
Hmm.
for college kids it's different. They have to fly in and
Mm-hmm.
go
Actually
stay
live.
at their dorms and be
Well, it's
with a
just like
roommate.
also
So
thinking about the fact like if you're learning from home and like how that'll be like going to like a university and like learning from home versus learning while being in a dorm or
in
even
the dorm.
attending class, like how the different like ways that college students are going to go back, whether it be at home in their dorm or going physically in a class.
Hmm.
So it'll be really interesting to see how it is now and if that'll be implemented when we go to college, if
If it stays
COVID-19,
around still.
yeah, if it's still there.
And another thing that's changed because of COVID and everything is definitely sports and recruitment into colleges, which I think Bianca, you have more experience about with because of soccer.
Yes. Um I the recruitment process, I talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but it's completely changed. It's everything was pushed back. All the showcases and games that college coaches usually come out and watch were canceled. We're barely even practicing with our team. So it's kind of like, how are we supposed to commit to a college if we aren't getting seen, if we can't go see the college?
Yeah.
the online stuff makes it really helpful. And I'm lucky enough to be part of a club in a league that records all of our games. So what we do is we go back through it and we make clips so that we can
Like a highlight reel.
exactly so that we can send highlight reels to coaches. And so for the past couple months, the entire recruitment process has basically been based on video.
And going back through everything. Because I was thinking about it because, like, our football team at our school is not going to play this year. I don't think so. And so it's their senior year. Like, what if it's their best year and it's their best season and they can't even, like, showcase that? Because it could be, like, their prime. And
Yeah,
colleges won't see it.
I was just like reading a little bit on it, and I was just like how different like recruiting will be, and because like colleges won't come out to see like the like athletes playing the sport, so how different that'll be, and they'll be judging based off of like junior year and like the scores and like the amount of just what different sports require, the times. They'll be looking at junior year
stats.
instead of senior year, and so how different that'll be.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Personally, I feel like I've gotten better, and so I'd rather have someone watch me in person than on video. But
Yeah.
I guess that's just the way it is. And I actually got an offer last week, but
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Congrats.
So that's news to you guys, but it was completely over the phone. And
are they normally in person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends. But it's over the phone, and then they usually like invite you to come to the college, and then it happens. But
okay.
So it was entirely over the phone, and they had already seen me play last year at a showcase, but they had only seen me play a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously colleges have also had to change their process a little bit because they can't rely on going to watch these players a lot. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it was entirely over the phone, and it was kind of one of those things where they just said, if we are open in the fall, you can come and visit with your family, but this is just what we've got for you. So
yeah,
because they weren't letting people on their campus. So
oh yeah, definitely. And so I think that really encapsulates everything that we've been talking about, how college has changed for not only students this year, but also for us next year, and definitely for our application processes. I mean, tests are optional now. We have like new info sections in the Common App. Interviews and tours and everything are online.
It's crazy. It's crazy how COVID-19, like, it's a virus that we can't even see, and how like new it is, but it's affecting our lives so much.
So much.
Definitely.
On that note, thanks for tuning into this episode. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unqualified. Follow us on Twitter at unqualified_pod. Follow us on Spotify if you prefer to listen. You can also listen to us on Anchor, which is really cool. We hope you enjoyed and have a fantastic day. We're Unqualified.
And we'll catch you next time.